and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing so good, and it is very good to see each and every one of you. Today is going to be the top trends in makeup for 2019. Thank you so much for all of the love on my skincare trends for 2019. You really loved that video and wanted one of these, so I bumped it up in the schedule and you get it today. So before we get started, hit the subscribe button, share this with somebody you think might like it, and let's do it. Alright, so we're going to be doing a couple different looks here. So we're going to start out with the first one, and I'm going to talk you through it. A lot of these trends that are, prophesized as what's going to be big in makeup in 2019, in my opinion, come from the runways. And that's where I've always pulled my inspiration from, especially on red carpet jobs and press junkets. You pull from the runways and you see how to make it into a more wearable look. Now, a lot of these trends are, in my opinion, for people that are quite young, early 20s, late 20s, early 30s, but that does not mean that my 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus cannot be on trend and cannot wear these things. So let's figure out how to do them to make them a little bit more wearable and for our age demographic, because we can be on trend too. All right, so the first trend that you're gonna see is an eyeshadow, and it's all about color blocking in fun colors. So what color blocking basically means is, which is exciting to be honest, it's a much more return to a minimalistic look, a much more natural, approachable look. It's where you basically wash one color over the whole entire lid or just in the crease, depending upon your eye shape, in a fun color. Usually something more pastel or yellows, oranges, something of that nature. So we are going to play with that today. I have this little palette here, which I actually don't talk about a lot. This is the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions palette, and we are actually going to play with this beautiful little peach color. This is very much the epitome of what's happening in this kind of color blocking theme right now, which is going with something that is approachable, yet has a little something special. So let me scoot you in. All right, now we are up close and personal. We are going to go right into this peach color right here in the palette. I am going to take it on a fluffy brush. So to do this technique, you do want to use a fluffier brush. This is a Zoeva brush. It's one of my favorite. They make some beautiful brushes. It's a 228 Luxe Crease brush. Now I'm going to show you two ways to do it depending upon your eye shape, all right? So for me, I can do either just the crease or a whole wash of color. If you do just the crease, it's usually somebody that has more of a mono lid or a much bigger lid space, somebody maybe that has a more almond shaped eye, or a much bigger space that you want to pull attention to the crease or make it look like you have a crease, okay? So what I'm still going to do, no matter what, is I'm just going into this kind of flesh tone color right here, is I am going to do a light wash of a flesh tone color. So whatever that may be for you, or you can just set the area with a little bit of powder. It's just like translucent powder. It's totally up to you. I have quite a bit of discoloration on my eyelid, which I actually like to work with most of the time. But for a bright color like this, I want to have a little bit of a more neutral base. Oh, this, by the way, is another Zoeva brush, the 234 brush. Okay, so going back in with that brush we talked about, we're going to go into this little peachy color. And it's going to be so simple. You guys are going to love this trend. For my more minimalistic ladies, you're going to love this color blocking trend. It is literally as simple as this is. You're going to pop it in that crease. You're going to bring it out just ever so slightly so somebody can actually see it. I am getting a little bit of something going on right here. Don't mind that. I'm trying a new concealer and obviously it's not going very well. But we're just going to pop this into the crease. Back and forth motions, circles. For somebody that's trying to build a crease, you want to make sure you're using circular motions going on top of that brow bone. If you have a deep set hooded eye, you can do this as well, but make sure it comes up a little bit higher. But the next one I'm going to be doing is going to be a little bit more appropriate with this type of technique. And then I'm going to pop right into this bright orange color and just give this a little bit of depth. You also could just stay like this. Totally okay, but I'm just going to give this a little bit more of a pop of color. Just going to blend those two because this color actually should be a little bit brighter than you're used to. So we're just kind of bringing out a little bit of color in our makeup with this trend. And you don't want to close off the eye. This color blocking technique is just in the crease. So you don't want to bring it in that triangle that we normally do. You just want to block that out. Just use your finger, pull it out. How pretty, right? Just like that. Now, if you have a more hooded eye, deep set eye, smaller eye shape, not a lot of space, or somebody that has a lot of texture and fine lines in there, you're going to want to do this technique. I'm going to go back into this first color here and just a touch of that color, and you're going to be so excited because it's so easy. You're going to fill in this whole space right here. Fill that bad boy in. And it's literally the most beautiful colored smoky eye. And this is going to be perfect for spring as we go into 2019. And it's really as simple as that. If you wanted to break up the color, you could tightline with a brown eyeliner, but usually just applying a little bit of mascara with, obviously that's black or deep brown, is really going to cut that bright colored and really make it blend in and be a little bit more wearable. There is another eyeshadow trend that we're going to be talking about that has a little bit more shimmer to it. But this is one of the best ways to start kind of incorporating some of the new trends in 2019. Is something simple like this. If this color is too much for you, obviously you could always do like a brighter brown, which in this palette I would suggest something like this would be absolutely beautiful. Maybe combine the two together. When we see this trend, we're usually seeing it done in matte, so that is always welcomed in my opinion. All right, so let's move on to the second trend. And it's going to be this kind of, what do they call it? They call it the glossy movement, okay? Or the glossy eyelid movement. I'm just gonna be very honest with you guys. In my opinion, glossy lids, which is basically where you put an eye gloss or it looks like lip gloss all over your lid, it can be stunning. But it really only works in an editorial setting. If you put eye gloss all over this, it's going to creak and crack and it's just going to run all over the place. And for my opinion, for an everyday look, you're not going to wear eye gloss all over your eye unless maybe you're a lot younger and have no texture or wrinkles on your eyelids. But there's also this movement towards bringing that gloss on the cheekbones or using a highlighter that looks more wet. And I really wholeheartedly love this trend. Remember this RMS palette that we worked with a little while ago? This little gloss right here, which is a face gloss, would be a perfect trend for this, or a perfect product for this trend. I also love this palette from ColourPop. It's called Crush on You. They make, in my opinion, some of the most wearable highlighters. But if you still want to go on trend, but use something that looks a little bit more wet, this is a beautiful formula. So what I do with this palette is, and now love this palette because this is great for deeper skin tones here, but I go into this color, they feel wet almost, they're amazing. Poker Face and Talk in Code, and I just use a little bit of each. I kind of mix them together on my hand, and then I press them into the top of my cheekbone. And the other thing you want to start doing is bringing it back into the temple. That's how it makes it look a little bit, again, more on trend, but also it makes it look a little bit more seamless and part of the skin as you bring it right back into this whole temple area. The third trend is, hooray, we are going away from this harsh contouring trend. I am super excited about that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about, we've actually talked about it a couple times on my channel, but I wanted to demonstrate it again, which is a soft contour. Soft contour is just, again, going to be used for shaping of the face, giving a little bit of extra color, but it's not something that's going to be that rigid, structured look that we have been used to in 2018. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this beautiful kind of CoverGirl palette. I'll put everything below, you guys, in the description box, but this is by CoverGirl, and we're going to use a brush that is appropriate for our face. So you can either use this brush, this for me at least. This is a Sigma F15 brush. I do love this one from NARS, and we'll use that. So we're going to go into this soft contour. Another portion of this trend is that you need to pick a contour color that is soft on your skin. So something that is not too dark. This color for me is perfect and would match a lot of people that are a little bit lighter than me and pretty much up to my skin tone. So we're going to lay our brush on the side of it and we're just going to do these big circular motions. We're not going to cut anything. We're just going to be really gentle, really light-handed, big circular motions back into that hairline, because we want to make sure it looks part of our face and like it's supposed to be there. Again, as we always say, let's go over that forehead. For me, I have such a big forehead, I need to kind of bronze it up quite a bit. Temple, super important. On me, at least, okay? Make sure you watch my video on face shaping for your face shape. And again, big, big motions. Now this, what's different is before we used to kind of do this back and forth motion when we want a more structured look. This is going to be more like blush. Big circular motions working back up into the hairline and a little bit along the jawline. And so from here you can see that everything is looking really beautiful. It's still looking sculpted, but it's not looking overly powered, you know, overpowering the look. And just because we're here, I'm just going to go in with that same blush and the same palette. For trend 4, it's all about super glossy lips. We're moving away from the trend of more matte lips, and I am very excited about that because I never was a super fan of the matte lip trend. It's very hard to wear, in my opinion, for more mature lips because we already are so dry and we also have fine lines, that using something that is a little bit more glossy will help to give a little bit fuller effect as well as hide some of those fine lines. But now when we wear gloss, you're going to be like, I can't wear gloss, it goes all over my face. I'm going to show you how to stop that. So for the first step of this, you're going to prime your lips. You don't have to do this step, but we'll just talk about how, you know, to not let feathering happen, okay? So we're going to prime our lips. This one is by Bite Beauty. I go right over the lip line, okay, and I pat it in. All over the lip and over the lip line, okay. And now this lip can be done in any color you want, but what we're seeing when we're doing this kind of a glossier lip trend is that it is done in a more neutral tone. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our lip liner. And I'm gonna color my whole lip in with this lip liner. Okay, so now that our lip is all filled in, you want to take a concealer if you want to. I'm just going to put on the back of my hand. You want a concealer that matches your skin tone, not one that's lighter. A little bit of concealer on my hand here. Synthetic brush. This is by a Sigma brush F75. And you want to gently go around, sorry, it's hard for me to talk while I'm doing this. You want to go around your lip line as close to your lip liner as possible. All right, and when you're doing this technique, you want to use a concealer that is extremely lightweight. So for me, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Retoucher in number 2. And then as simple as this is, you're going to be applying a very juicy lip gloss. I'm in love with this one. Yes, it's a higher price point, but I love it. It also has collagen stimulating ingredients in it, so it's skincare inside of a amazing lip plumper lip gloss. This is by Charlotte Tilbury. Love that lip gloss. And so by using the concealer, also using the primer, as well as using the lip liner, it's really going to help with feathering. So that is the lip on that. All right, so now for trend 4. It's going to be a little less makeup, but it's going to be short bangs, like really, really short fringe. I think that's fun. I mean, I've always wanted bangs because, again, I have so much real estate up here, but for me, I can't keep up with the maintenance of bangs. So, but if you've ever thought of using bangs, it might be your year. Trend 5 is going to be embracing the gray. That basically means that women are going to be showing their natural hair color, and I wanted to include this because if you've ever thought of really embracing your natural hair color, 2019 you will see a lot of people flaunting their grays and really making it stylish, and I'm excited to see it because, you know what, to me it's gorgeous. I love to see women with gray hair. I love to see people embrace who they are and, you know, their natural state with their gray hair. I think it looks beautiful. So yay to gray hair in 2019.